Welcome to Sir Robert Chiduku Tutorials. Learning is 24/7. Hello and welcome to Sir Robert Chiduku Tutorials. Today we are going to look at the special senses, and under special senses we are going to particularly look at the ear. Today we are going to look at the ear. These are special senses, right? And under special senses today we are going to look at the ear. So after studying this section, you should be able to describe the structure of the outer, middle and inner parts of the ear, explain the physiology of hearing. So particularly today I'll concentrate on physiology of hearing, but I should also just go through the parts of the ear. So the ear is divided into three with what is called the outer ear. As you can see, the outer ear consists of the auricle or the pinna. This is called the auricle or the pinna, right? And the external acoustic meatus, which is the auditory canal, right? This canal, that is the external acoustic meatus or the auditory canal. The auricle or the pinna, which is this part of the outer ear, that's the auricle or the pinna. The auricle is the visible part of the ear that projects from the side of the head. This one, which projects on the side of the head. It is composed of fibroelastic cartilage covered with skin. Yes, it is deeply grooved. It is deeply grooved, and you see it has got a lot of grooves inside. So it is deeply grooved and ridged. So it has grooves and ridges. The most prominent outer ridge is the helix. The lobe, which is the earlobe, is the soft-pliable part of the at the lower extremity, composed of fibrous and adipose tissue, richly supplied with blood. Now we want to look at the auditory canal, which is called the external acoustic meatus, which is this S-shaped canal which extends from the outer ear going to other parts of the ear. It is called the external acoustic meatus. This is slightly S-shaped tube about 2.5 centimeters long, extending from the auricle to the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. So the eardrum can also be called the tympanic membrane. The lateral third is cartilaginous and the remainder is a canal in the temporal bone. The meatus is lined with skin continuous with that of the auricle. There are numerous ceruminous glands and hair follicles. So there are a lot of glands that are called ceruminous glands, right? And the hair follicles that are associated with the sebaceous glands in the skin of the lateral third, right? So in simple terms, that's the external acoustic meatus. So now let us delve deep and look at this diagram in Fig 8.1, which clearly illustrates the parts of the ear. So these are the parts of the ear. You can see the outer ear, the inner ear, and the middle ear will be shown. So we have the auricle, which is this outermost part of the ear, the auricle. Let me show you the auricle. This is the auricle, right? That's the auricle. That is the outer part of the ear. It can be called the auricle, right? So we have the temporal bone, the malleus, in the middle ear of the malleus, the incus, the steps, the same circular canal, vestibulocochlear nerve, cochlea, pharyngo, tympanic auditory tube, external acoustic meatus. So this is the external acoustic meatus. Let me highlight it. This one. This is the canal which comes from here going to right to the eardrum. That is called the external acoustic meatus, which is the S-shaped canal that extends from the outer ear right to the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. That's the auditory canal, right? The tympanic membrane or eardrum completely separates the external acoustic meatus from the middle ear. It is oval-shaped with a slightly broader edge towards upwards and is formed by three types of tissue: the outer covering of hairless skin, the middle layer of the fibrous tissue, with the inner lining of mucous membrane continuous with that of the middle ear. Let us look at the middle ear or the tympanic cavity. The middle ear can also be called the tympanic cavity. This is an irregular shaped air-filled cavity with the petrous portion of the temporal bone. The cavity, its contents, and the air sacs which open out of it are lined with either simple squamous or cuboidal epithelium. The lateral wall of the middle ear is formed by tympanic membrane. The roof and floor are formed by the temporal bone. So let us look at the middle ear, the parts of the middle ear. So this ingus, right, and the malleus, right, all those are the parts of the that are found in the middle ear. Let me look at another diagram which clearly illustrates these parts of the middle ear. If I can find it, if I can find that diagram. Right, you see the parts of the middle ear are clearly illustrated here. These are the three auditory ossicles, right, which is the malleus, the ingus, and the steps. So this is a summary of the outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear, right. This one particularly shows the physiology of hearing, which we want to cover now. So after doing the physiology of hearing, we will come to that diagram for summarization, right. That is what we are going to do. So now let us proceed and look at the physiology of hearing. Physiology of hearing. I want you to be seeing as I describe physiology of hearing for you. I want you to be able to see. So these are three auditory ossicles with the malleus. This is the lateral hammer-shaped bone. The ingus, this is the middle anvil-shaped bone. And the steps, this is the medial stirred up-shaped bone. Its head articulates with the ingus and its foot plate into the oval window. Right, physiology of hearing. What's physiology of hearing? So physiology of hearing is very, very important. You will find that in most cases you are going to be asked to describe the physiology of hearing. So you need to know and describe how someone hears. Don't just hear, but be able to explain that process, right? How does one get to hear? So physiology of hearing is very important. You must know the physiology of hearing. Right, we are here. So I want to rush and look at the physiology of hearing. So here, the physiology of hearing, right? So I want to look at physiology of hearing. So the first thing that happens under physiology of hearing is this. One thing that you need to know is that sound waves, right, or vibrations in the air which travel at about 332 meters per second. So now the auricle, because of its shape, this one, it has got a lot of ridges and grooves. So because of its shape, this auricle, the pinna, it collects and concentrates the waves, the sound waves, and it directs them along this auditory canal, along this auditory external acoustic meatus, along this ear canal, right, causing the tympanic membrane to vibrate. So are you really grasping what we are saying? The first thing, the auricle or the pinna collects the sound waves because of its shape. That is number one. Number two, it concentrates and it directs the sound waves along the external acoustic meatus until it reaches the tympanic membrane. This causes the tympanic membrane to vibrate. The tympanic membrane vibrations are transmitted and amplified through the middle ear by movement of the 3 auditory ossicles. So now, the development that are going to happen when the sound waves are transmitted to the middle ear, right? The sound waves are going to be amplified or increased in intensity by the moment they reach the middle ear. How does this happen? This process is necessitated by the presence of the 3 auditory ossicles, that is the ingus, the steps, and the malleus. These 3 bones are going to move, and their movement is going to amplify the sound waves, right? At the medial end of the footplate of the steps, they rock to and fro in the oval window, setting up fluid waves in the perileafy of the scala vestibuli. Right, so what happens now? Movement of the 3 auditory ossicles, that is the ingus, the malleus, and the steps, it will amplify the sound waves, increase the sound waves in terms of their intensity. When that happens, there's going to be movement to and fro of the steps in the oval window. That movement to and fro in the oval window by the steps is going to set up fluid waves in the perileaf of the scala vestibuli, right? So some of the force of the waves, so now we are shifting from sound waves to fluid wave. There is already some fluid which is in the perileaf. So this fluid which is in the perileaf is going to now generate the fluid waves. So let me illustrate. Right, so what we are saying here is this. Let me illustrate. The sound waves are picked by this auricle. They are directed along the external acoustic meatus or the auditory canal, which is this, right? When these sound waves reach the middle ear, which is here, the sound is going to be increased in terms of its intensity by the movement of the 3 auditory ossicles, that is the ingus, the steps, and the ingus and the malleus. The malleus is the one that looks like the hammer, this one, right? So movement of these 3 auditory ossicles is going to increase the sound waves, right? So now the movement of these steps to and fro in this oval window, right? In the oval window, which is here, is going to set up some fluid waves in the scala. It's going to set some fluid waves in the perileafy. And where is the perileafy? The perileafy is in the scala vestibuli. So this is the scala vestibuli, right? And also some fluid in the scala tympani, right? So now let us look at what is going to happen now. I was illustrating in the diagram. The fluid wave. So what is going to happen now is that most of the pressure is transmitted into at the middle end of the footplate, that is the steps now. Some of the force of these waves is transmitted along the length of the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani. So there's already some perileaf which is in the scala tympani and the perileaf. So this is going to set fluid waves. So the waves from the middle ear, due to the movement of the 3 auditory ossicles, is going to set up the fluid waves in the perileaf, which is in the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani. And let us look at what is going to happen after there's fluid waves which are generated in the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani. Most of the pressure is transmitted into the cochlear duct. So the pressure is now going to be shifted to the cochlear duct from the scala tympani and the scala vestibuli. The pressure which is generated in the fluid waves is going to be directed to the cochlear duct. This causes a corresponding wave motion in the endoleaf, resulting in vibration of the basilar membrane and stimulation of the auditory receptors in the hair cells of the spiral organ. The nerve impulse is generated, passed to the brain in the cochlear auditory portion of the vestibulocochlear nerve, which is the 8th cranial nerve. The fluid wave is finally extended to the middle ear by vibration of the membrane of the round window. The vestibular cochlear nerve transmits the impulse to the auditory nuclei in the medulla, where the synapses before they are conducted to the auditory area in the temporal lobe of the cerebrum. So what we see here, let me illustrate through a diagram so that you're able to see. Right. So what I said here in simple terms is this. Let me be illustrating. Right. So I basically said the flow at first physiology of hearing starts like this, right? The auricle collects the sound waves because of its shape, because it has got grooves, and because of its shape it collects and concentrates the sound waves along the external acoustic meters. The sound waves are going to be increased in their intensity in the middle ear by the movement of the three auditory ossicles, that is the ingus, the malleus, the ingus, and the steps. And the movement of the steps in the oval window is going to set up some fluid waves in the scala vestibuli, which is here, and the scala tympani, which is here. The pressure of the fluid waves generated in the scala tympani and the scala vestibuli, the pressure is going to be generated to the cochlear duct, which is this green, darker green substance, that is the cochlear duct. So this is where the pressure is going to be taken. Now, this is going to set some vibrations of the basilar membrane, right? The vibrations in the basilar membrane are going to lead to stimulation of the hair cells or the hair receptors, and the impulse is going to be generated and taken to the brain, to the temporal lobe for evaluation, right? Which is the lobe responsible for hearing. So now this is the summary of the physiology of hearing. Let us look at the summary of the physiology of hearing. Right, this is in the outer ear. In the outer ear, sound waves in the air are going to be picked by the auricle. Because of its shape, it's going to collect. That's why it's shaped like this. It's designed to pick the sound waves, collect the sound waves, concentrate them in the auditory canal, the external acoustic meters, and in anatomy. Now, those sound waves, when they reach the middle ear, these are the developments that are going to happen. In the middle ear, the question is, what do we have that is going to amplify or increase the sound waves in terms of their intensity? It's because of the mechanical movement of the three auditory ossicles. These are the three bones that increase and amplify the sound waves. We've got the malleus. It's called the malleus because it looks like a hammer. We've got the ingus. We also have the steps. So now the movement of the steps to and fro in the oval window is now going to lead to the development that are going to happen in the inner ear, right? So there's going to be transfer of that sound wave of pressure to the perileaf, right? So in the inner ear, the perileaf is found in the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani, right? So now the pressure which is going to be generated in the perileaf and in the perileaf of the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani is going to be transmitted to the cochlear duct, right? What is in the cochlear duct? In the cochlear duct there is endoleafy, right? So in the endoleaf, the fluid wave stimulates basilar membrane in the spiral organ of Cort, right? When the fluid wave stimulates the basilar membrane in the spiral organ of Cort, this leads to the generation, to the stimulation of the hair cells in the organ of Cort, leading to the generation of electrical impulses. These electrical impulses are now going to be taken by the vestibulocochlear nerve, which is the eighth cranial nerve, to the temporal lobe of the brain for evaluation of sound. Thank you so much. Until next time, this was Physiology of Hearing.